A photograph speaks without words. Some have origins unknown. They appear out of nowhere, without so much as a date. Those with ghostly figures and smiling faces without names. Strange identities. Legends. Myths. Mysteries. Some even rumored to haunt the eye of the beholder. The figures in these photos may never be identified. Leatherman. This 1885 photo captures a mysterious vagabond known mysteriously as only Leatherman. Famous for wandering along the Connecticut and Hudson rivers wearing a handmade suit of leather, author of The Old Leatherman, historical accounts of a Connecticut and New York legend, said of this mysterious suit, quote, "It was made from old boot tops, sewed together with leather lace." Estimates waged the suit weighed about 60 pounds. The vagabond was known for always wearing it, even during the hottest days of the year. The Leatherman traveled in a 365-mile, 587-kilometer loop, reportedly living in caves along the way. Every 34 days, he'd complete his journey. Then he'd start over again. People in the area remembered him punctual. He would visit the same spot every 34 days, only minutes in variation. While reports surfaced that he was fluent in French, he preferred instead communicating in caveman-like grunts and gestures. The way he made a living remained an enigma. Perhaps he didn't need one. Reportedly sleeping in caves, the Leatherman would eat from small gardens he tended near his usual spots. Nevertheless, people offered him food. Their kindness had more to do with his myth. Seeing him was considered a positive omen. Even nearby schools would let students go out of class to see him. They'd offer supplies on days he stopped by. These were aptly named Leatherman days. Still, his lack of communication meant no one could trace his origin, never mind how or why he lived such an odd existence. Nothing stopped him. He traveled in even the most adverse weather, surviving blizzards huddled over a campfire's glow. In 1888, he was sent to the Connecticut Humane Society Hospital for a lip injury incurred during an intense snowstorm. He ran from the hospital after refusing any treatment. He was later discovered in a cave and subsequently interred. Today, urban legend fans visit the Leatherman's fabled caves and gravesite in Ossining, New York. The headstone reads Jules Bourglais, but even his name is debated. Archaeologists examined the grave after its removal. The move preempted concerns that visiting inquirers were at risk due to a nearby highway. The exhumers were shocked. Inside, not one trace of the Leatherman. Babushka Lady. The 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy has long proffered conspiracy theories that Lee Harvey Oswald was assisted by a second shooter. It may be that the truth lies solely with the Babushka Lady. She is, after all, the only known photographer of the supposed second shooter on that day. The Babushka Lady was so nicknamed after the headscarf she wore, one similar to those shrouding elderly Russian women. Videos of the event, including the famous Zapruder film, show a mysterious woman taking photos of the grassy knoll where the second shooter is believed to have been. As panicked bystanders dove for cover, the Babushka Lady remained standing, hauntingly possessed to photograph the motorcade. After the shooting subsided, she walked across the street, disappearing into the crowd. Impossible to identify, available footage shows her either facing away or obscured behind her camera. Although unverified, a Texas woman named Beverly Oliver came forward in 1970, claiming she was the Babushka Lady. However, her claim lost credibility after she reached out to a conspiracy theorist to go public with her story. Oliver claimed to have filmed the assassination using a Super 8 Yashica camera. After being confronted, she stated her camera was a test model. The Yashica Super 8 camera wouldn't hit the market for 6 years in 1969. Nevertheless, Oliver reportedly turned her film over to 2 strange FBI agents who promised to develop and return the film reel. She never heard back. With no evidence of the meeting or footage to back up her claims, Oliver was largely ignored. The Cooper family. Commonly referred to as the Cooper family photo, this image was supposedly taken in 1950s Texas. In it, an unsuspecting family poses near a dark apparition, tumbling from the ceiling. Legend has it that night was their first in the new house. The figure was only detected later after developing the film. However, lingering doubts over the photo's origin obscure the legend. While some have claimed that the photo may have been digitally altered in some way, some photographers suggest the opposite. With no apparent source or leftover negative, these claims remain unsubstantiated. Moreover, no records corroborate the Cooper family either. Chilling as it is, Many question the true nature of the smiling family themselves. Internet sleuths have only been able to track the first appearance of the photo back to 2013, or perhaps 2009. The dark vignetting around the corners of the photo also appear too symmetrical to be natural, while the main source of light in the image doesn't appear to interact correctly with the falling person or the shadows. The mystery deepened when an analysis suggested that the falling figure may be that of a female ballerina in pose, although an exact match to the image has yet to be discovered. Additionally, a man with the last name Copper has come forward to claim the images are of his family from back in 1959. It's not known how the photo would have left their possession to end up on the internet. Le Lion. In 2013, In January of 2016, the Greater Manchester Police released this CCTV image of an unidentified older gentleman. He reportedly took a nearly 200-mile, 322-kilometer pilgrimage, only to lay down and die at the crest of a moor. Witnesses reported seeing the man struggle to climb the 1,500-foot, 457-meter-high Indian's Head Peak against a fierce storm. Reports revealed the presence of strychnine, a highly toxic substance used as a pesticide against birds and mice. Yet with no records to indicate his identity, attendants at the Royal Oldham Hospital gave him the moniker Neil Dovestones, Dovestone for the reservoir, adjacent from where he was found. Some believe he may have been the survivor of a 1949 plane crash that claimed the lives of 24 members, crashed onto the mountainside. A theory soon spread that he had made the journey to the crash site because the accident had taken his family. Once, a Northern Irish man called the police to report that the mysterious man may be a missing Newry man who had vanished suddenly in 1994. Test results debunked the claim. Another theory floated, connecting Doveston to the 1960s Moor serial killers who'd buried 5 young victims in muddy fields below. Some were convinced he had died not of conditions, but remorse. Bizarrely, he was found lying peacefully next to a non-lethal medicine bottle. The Arabic writing labeled the container filled with strychnine, an alkaloid poisoning agent. This invariably led the police to assume that the man had arrived from the Middle East. Soon, detectives discovered a titanium surgical plate attached to his left femur, a plate only obtainable, legally anyway, in Pakistan, narrowing the results. Pakistani authorities compared his fingerprints and likeness to their records, but came up with nothing. No one had reported him missing in Pakistan. A year later, the Saddleworth Moor mystery man was found. The police located footage of a similar-looking man who traveled from Lahore, the Pakistan capital of Punjab, to Heathrow Airport, giving them a fresh new lead.